Profound. Going to Antarctica is such an extraordinary feeling. I learned also that it's the #1 tourist destination that people go back to. So after you've been there once, you're so moved by what you've seen and what you've experienced. Most people do what they can to return, and I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm trying to fit in my schedule how I can take more of my family and friends back there. As a songwriter, I love being in nature. I love solitude, and Antarctica is nothing but nature and solitude. But more importantly, I went with Al Gore and a team of scientists, researchers, entrepreneurs, environmentalists, so that we could learn about the stark realities of climate change. We were on a scientific exploration ship. So on board, we got to learn all the science that's been done for the last 30 years, seeing exactly how humans are having an impact on the planet. And then it was a solution-based program, how we can then come back into our Western worlds and our civilized worlds and use our microphones and our medias to do our best to encourage people to continue to live consciously so that it's not so much we, but our kids and their kids can live sustainably, can live here on this planet. I feel we're consuming more now than we ever have been. Even though our awareness is greater, it's not stopping us from burning carbon fuels, carbon-based fuels, and clearing land. I mean, the haze over Singapore is an example of land clearing that's happening on the Indonesian island of Sumatra, and that's happening all over the world, you know, and that has incredible economic and health costs. And it was going to Antarctica that made me more aware of our planet and what we can do about it. And I started a tree planting project so that I can do my best to offset my carbon, because here I am, I'm talking about being an eco-warrior, but I fly every other day. And I'm not flying by myself, I'm flying with 23 people. So my carbon footprint is probably bigger than anyone else in this room. So I feel I have a responsibility. I'm also a homeowner, and that makes me responsible. I have a piece of the earth that it's my responsibility to care for. How much energy am I consuming? What products am I buying? Where are those products coming from? You know, what am I throwing away, et cetera, et cetera. So sometimes I worry that me talking about it makes it sound like it's so hard and you have to commit your life to it. It's not. It's just a little light switch you have to turn on that makes you a little more conscious about your actions and your activities. And then you implement them into your life, and suddenly you realize I'm saving money, I'm healthier, my family's happier, my community's happier, the wildlife has returned to my backyard. There's so many great reasons to practice a more eco-friendly, eco-minded lifestyle. And I have Antarctica to thank for that. Well, there were two things that happened almost simultaneously. One, I bought a home, and I realized this is now my piece of the earth that I'm responsible for. No one else is going to come here and sort my trash and do my recycling and turn my lights off and water my trees, etc. So this was my responsibility. And then as I went to travel the world, I realized, oh, okay, where I am today is also my responsibility, and so forth. I also started surfing at that same time, and I would spend time in the ocean and love it, but be really disappointed when I went back to the sand and there was broken glass bottles and cigarette butts and garbage in the sand, or trash floating along beside me in the water. Or even worse, after it rained, they put up signs all over the beaches saying, please don't swim, because after a rain, all the water becomes polluted. And I didn't know that until I'd become a surfer. And started to think about all these families that take their kids to allow them to swim in the water and how polluted it's become. And I felt I then had a responsibility for my own selfish reasons, because I want to keep surfing, you know, and I want it to be clean until I'm an old man. And if I have kids, I want the water to be clean for them, etc. And so thanks to my last album taking off and given opportunities to do press conferences and talk on camera and obviously create music, which I'd always known to be a powerful fundraising tool, I also knew that music was also a means to express yourself and draw attention to certain things. I try not to preach in my music, but I do try to offer ways of being in hopes that when you listen to the music, you want to take responsibility for whatever it is you're most passionate about. And so on this most recent album, I sing a song called The World As I See It, and it's just about, even though we have, pollution and smokestacks and consuming it more energy than ever, we can continue to create the world as a beautiful place. And so on. So there's a number of songs where I hope to empower a listener, just for them to follow through on whatever it is they're passionate about. That's how I choose to use music. I think so, because you can't help but be in awe, because it's art, first of all. You're looking at beautiful art, and art, no matter what it is, gets a reaction out of people. People get drawn to it like a moth to a flame. And then once you spend time with that artwork, this vertical garden, you realize that's exactly what it is. In this world of limited space, we can still grow vertically. We can grow air plants. We can grow tropical foods and trees that only use the few inches of soil, because people often complain we don't have enough room to grow things. But when you look at the super trees here, and a lot of the projects that are being grown here, you discover, oh, this could actually be done on my roof or in my kitchen or my little 2 inches of side yard that I have beside my house. So I think, aside from the beauty and the artistic expression that this place is, it's one heck of an learning experience for all of us. So I applaud Dr. Tan and all of his crew here.